Hello everyone, so today's video is going to be an attempt at a 12-hour reading vlog. I did a 24-hour reading vlog not that long ago. Well, I say I did it, I didn't actually do it, but I tried to do it. So this time is going to be a 12-hour reading vlog, which I've done in the past, but for some reason I just have a feeling this is not going to go very well. And maybe I'm setting myself up for failure by saying that, but you know, we'll try. Any reading is better than no reading. So what I'm showing you right now is my planned TBR for this 12-hour reading vlog. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get through all of these, but these are just the things I had to choose from. So the main priority for this video is to finish the last 2 volumes of Descending Stories, and yeah, I'm really enjoying that, so I'd like to see how it ends. Then, I think I want to start and maybe finish Flowers of Evil. I know it's 11 volumes in these omnibus editions. I mean, it's 4 omnibus editions, but then 11 volumes in the singles. So maybe I could read that all in one sitting. Shuzo Oshimi's works definitely go by pretty fast, but I'm not sure I can get through 11 volumes today, but we'll see. And if while I'm reading that, I get kind of not sick of it, but if I need a break, I have Real Account, which is just ridiculous. And I'm interested to see where that's going. And then I would like to read Summon of the Gods soon. I don't know if I'm going to get to it in this video, but it is pretty high up on my TBR list for a reason that I will not tell you at the moment. But yeah, so for now I'm going to finish these 2 volumes real quick and then probably move on to Flowers of Evil. And I'll let you know my thoughts on the series once I finish it. Okay, so first up I read volumes 9 and 10 of Descending Stories, or Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju, if you want the Japanese name. So this is the complete series, or the last 2 volumes I had to read in the series. So if you don't know, this series follows this guy right here who watched Rakugo, which is like acting, but it's just one person acting out a whole story. So he watched Rakugo in prison. Actually, he watched this guy do Rakugo when he was in prison, and then after he is released from prison is when the story starts, and he wants to become this guy's apprentice in Rakugo. So even though that's the main premise of the story, I find that the actual story is more about this guy, and the first couple volumes follow him and his journey to become a Rakugo apprentice, as well as his relationship with a different apprentice. So I think this story focuses mostly on him. Obviously this guy has a lot of screen time. He is the main character, maybe, or maybe it's this guy, but he does get a lot of screen time. But really the story is about this guy, his relationships with various people he meets throughout his life, and his relationship with Rakugo, and how that changes throughout his entire life, because we see quite a big majority of his life. So the first 4 volumes are kind of like an extended flashback into his life, and then the main storyline lasts like 20 to 25 years or something like that. Obviously there's lots of like time jumps in there, because you can't show 25 years and everything that happens. But anyway, so it's mostly about this guy and his life and his relationship with Rakugo and how it evolves over time. So these last 2 volumes wrap up the story pretty nicely. There is one thing that I'm gonna say it's introduced in this volume. It's not really. I kind of had an idea, or I had the inkling that this was being hinted at earlier, but it's never like set in stone. And I'm being very, very vague because I don't want to spoil anything. But maybe if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. But there's an idea that's presented in here that I do not like. It's not confirmed. It's left open to interpretation on purpose, which I appreciate. But I don't really like the thing that was being insinuated there. So I'm just going to ignore it and pretend that that's not how I interpret it. But other than that, this is a pretty great series. I gave it like an 8 out of 10. I really like this guy and all these characters. I like all the characters in here. I did find his flashback volumes, this guy's flashback volumes, like the first 4 volumes, a bit more interesting than this like main storyline. I mean, it all connects obviously, but I found that those first 4 volumes were more engaging to me personally than these later ones. Not that these ones weren't engaging, it's just that those ones were more engaging. And I will say that this manga is very heavy on the drama sometimes. Like, there's even like Yakuza storylines in here a little bit. I mean, this guy was in the Yakuza, and that's how he ended up in jail. But there is like a little bit of a Yakuza storyline in here, which it's fine. It's just very heavy on the drama sometimes, which I mean, I've read worse manga in that regard, but so this one's not too bad. And because it relies heavily on rakugo to tell the story, there are a lot of like Japanese vocabulary that is in there. I understood most of it, but some other people, this is definitely not a beginner-friendly manga, I wouldn't say. If you need to, all the vocabulary words or references are in the back, so they're all there. I never looked back at those because I didn't feel like I needed to, but they are there. I have heard that you should watch the anime to this because of the rakugo storytelling aspect of it is more engaging, obviously in an animated format than it would be just reading it off the page. I did not find that necessary. Obviously, yes, this is kind of about rakugo, but it's not really. It's not about rakugo, it's about the characters and their interaction with rakugo and how rakugo changes their life. But the actual story isn't about rakugo, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So I didn't feel like I needed to see the performances animated. I didn't feel like that was necessary to me to still get the feelings that were being put across by the author. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, this is this. I really enjoyed this series, and I'm glad I got to read it all at once. Well, kind of all at once. And then next, I read the first omnibus for Flowers of Evil. Obviously, I'm not done with the series yet, but I will introduce my thoughts for now. So what I'm thinking so far with this is that I don't find it as engaging as a lot of the other Shuzo Oshimi works I've read so far. I don't have the same feelings about like the art or how like unsettled I usually feel with Shuzo Oshimi's works. This one has not managed to do it for me really at all. It is kind of disturbing. It is kind of like uncomfortable, but not nearly to the level of some of the other works by him I've read, especially Blood on the Tracks and Inside Mari. I mean, those are the two I've mostly read. I have read Son of Happiness, but anyway. So yeah, I haven't gotten that experience yet. I don't doubt that Shuzo Oshimi will make me feel those feelings eventually as I continue reading. But for now, I'm just interested to see where this is gonna go, because at this point, after this volume, I don't really know. I feel like it could get really, really dark, and I also feel like it could stay kind of at this level, although I kind of doubt it. Yeah, so I'll keep reading this. Hopefully I can finish this series in the time I have left for this video. I probably should be able to, hopefully, if I stop looking on Reddit and Twitter. So yeah. As an intermission, I decided to go Barnes & Noble and buy some manga, hopefully. I have like one thing I'm kind of interested in, but for the most part I'm just going to try to look to see if there's anything I want there. And maybe I will talk while I'm vlogging in there. We'll see how many people are hanging out in the manga section, because for some reason at this Barnes & Noble, lots of people hang out in the manga section, and I don't really like that. But yeah, so let's go in, I guess. I really need right stuff to send me my pre-orders, and then I would have that. I've heard good things about this, but I kind of want to wait a little bit longer until I decide to get it. More pre-orders I'm waiting for my stuff. They would just send them to me, that'd be cool. This one too. Need that one for my stuff too. Oh, and this one. Might have to go check that out too. I don't know why my face is so red. I think it's just because it's hot outside. I mean, it's like 85 degrees, but to me that's super hot. Like, I don't go in the sun, so it shouldn't be sunburnt. I don't know why my face is so red. Anyway, I've not been doing very much reading in this vlog, but I have bought a lot of manga. I just spent like an hour and a half at the mall, which was a bad idea. But I bought manga that I didn't need. So we're succeeding at something, even if I shouldn't be succeeding at that. So I'll show you what I bought real quick. So the first thing I saw at the store that I wanted to buy is Ragna Crimson. So I bought volume 1 and volume 2. So I recently saw this on Manga channel. There's someone walking behind me who definitely saw me talking on the phone, but whatever. No, she's on her phone. She didn't see me. It's fine. Okay, so I saw this on the Manga channel. And I'd seen it before at the store, and I really liked this first cover. I like the art on it a lot. I don't know, that guy looks like an edgelord, but you know, sometimes I like to read about edgelords. So yeah, and I heard Manga talk about it, and it sounded really good. There's like some interesting dragon magic or whatever, dragon lore in this series that sounds really cool. And you know, the art looks nice, so might as well try it out, I guess. So I picked those two up, and then I decided that if I just bought that, it'd kind of be a boring section of this video. So I found something else to buy, which is a terrible, terrible reasoning for buying manga, but you know what? Whatever. I've bought things for worse reasons. So I found one other thing to buy. Well, 3 other things, 1 other series to buy. So I have The Witch and the Beast, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. So I don't really know the story of this. I think I heard about this like a year ago, and the way it was described sounded really, really interesting and like something I'd want to try out. But I kind of forgot about it until recently, but I don't remember what that original synopsis was. So I just bought this, even though I don't know what it's about. But I've heard like really good things about this. And I think it might be a josei. I could be wrong. In fact, I'm probably wrong, but maybe I'm not. I'm actually glad I picked these up in the store because these are Kodansha volumes, which means that there were lots of copies in there with like beat up spines or like tears on the spine, which is going to happen with pretty much any Kodansha volume eventually. But since I was at the store, I could pick out the copies that had the least amount of damage on the spine. This one's pretty much perfect. So yeah, so I think I will try these 2 out in a future video, along with some other stuff that I've been picking up recently. So yeah, now let's try to go back to actually reading once I go home. We'll see. This is not a successful reading vlog, I don't think, but whatever. I've read the second omnibus, and stuff has happened, certainly. I don't think I fully understand this one. I mean, I do, but also what's happening. Yeah. It still doesn't feel quite as dark as the other series by Shuzo Oshimi I've read, but it's getting there. And Shuzo Oshimi always explores the themes of adolescence and the different hardships that happen during adolescence and what people have to go through as they're changing, their minds and their bodies are changing. And it's always just very highly exaggerated in Shuzo Oshimi's works, which it allows for a very interesting story that's being told here. It's just, I feel bad for these kids' parents, like a lot. Just, these kids are all, there's something, they're all out of their minds, it feels like. Which, again, is a commentary on adolescence, I suppose. Also, in this volume, there's a couple pages of, like, pictures that Shuzo Oshimi took of different settings, or his hometown, and then based the setting of this manga on his hometown. And I thought that was just kind of interesting, but then the more I read, the more I realize, like, the setting of this manga is very important to the story being told. It shapes the characters, yeah, so those pictures and those things he says about the setting or the place he grew up really kind of shines a light on what's going on, kind of. But it does kind of explain some things that the characters are feeling and why they may be feeling those things through the setting, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made any sense, but hopefully it did. Anyway, so now I'm off to finish this and see what terrible things happen, because I'm sure they will. You want to be in the video? You can be in the video. Look at the camera. I need to use you for views. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. You're not very good at that, are you? So, I read Omnibus 3 and Omnibus 4 of The Flowers of Evil. This completes the series. And I have to say, just from everything I'd heard about the series, this is definitely not the ending I was expecting, but I did really, really enjoy it. Just continuing my conversation from earlier, I mentioned the setting and how Shuzo Oshimi plays with that. And I feel like these two omnibuses, or these two volumes, really they continue that and embrace it. It almost feels like Shuzo Oshimi is like personifying the setting, which is really a great concept that I like to read when it happens. I don't want to say too much more at risk of spoiling the series, but I will say that just generally, I like how Shuzo Oshimi, like, he makes a very negative series, right? So he'll come up with this very negative, dark view of adolescence and really explore that very deeply, but his stories never feel hopeless or entirely hopeless, which I really appreciate because I don't like reading series that feel hopeless. Like Goodnight Poon Poon, I had that problem with it where just everything felt hopeless and I didn't understand what I was reading it for, whereas Shuzo Oshimi's works explores that really dark subject matter without making me feel like, what is the point of reading this? And so yeah, apparently I need like some level of hope when I'm reading a thriller or really dark content. So yeah, so that's everything I read today. I have about half an hour left of my 12-hour challenge, but I'm probably just gonna go to bed or maybe edit this video. We'll see. So I managed to read 6 volumes, but like 4 of those were omnibus volumes. So if you count like just regular volumes, it was 13 volumes, which is pretty good. And I definitely could have read more, but I did fine. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you want to see more of these vlog style things. I don't really go very many places, so it's really hard for me to figure out what is and isn't boring in these videos. But I figure I can keep showing my cats, and that's not boring, right? But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!